Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the plastic. This is Vancouver. Rain falls over the city like a constant companion, washing the streets clean but never quite clearing the air. Somewhere under the gray skies, a man sits at a bench. He doesn't solve crimes, he solves puzzles. Plastic, brass, and sometimes resin. My name's Jet. I build models. It was Thursday, 8:02 a.m. The rain was steady, the coffee was black, and the Tiger 1 initial sat in pieces on my bench. Tank number 100, captured by the Russians and displayed like a prize, was waiting to tell his story. My job? To piece it together, one stubborn part at a time. The first task was adding the cover for the snorkel opening on the rear of the hull. No problems there, it fit like a glove. A rare moment of simplicity in a build that's anything but. The second challenge came soon after, the fenders. The kit provided 3 different patterns, each with its own quirks. I studied them carefully, weighing the options. Each one offered a different look, a different story for the Tiger. In the end, I picked the one that felt right, a balance of detail and simplicity. It's a good thing they included extras. Later in the build, I'd find myself making some changes, revisiting decisions I thought were final. The fit wasn't cooperative. The kit promised precision, but what I got was frustration. Gaps stared back at me, daring me to fix them. I had a choice. Rework the parts for a perfect fit, or glue the photo-etch fenders straight on as instructed. I took the second option. It wasn't elegant, but it worked. Modeling isn't always about perfection. It's about making decisions, knowing when to press forward and when to hold back. Sometimes it's about knowing when to leave room for second chances. The grenade screens were next. These weren't just details, they were a question of history. Early Tigers were a mystery, even to the experts. Some said the screens were added later, an afterthought in the factory. Others insisted they were always there, hidden in plain sight. I turned to my Russian references. Grainy photos taken decades ago held the answers, or so I hoped. I studied the images, tracing faint lines across the engine deck. Were they shadows, scratches, or the ghost of a screen long gone? The kit didn't include them, no surprise there. For screens this fine, I had to go aftermarket. Aber's photo-etch set became my ally. Their detail was sharp, precise, and a perfect match for the Tigers. The evidence was slim, but it was enough. I added the screens. They were good enough for the archives. They were good enough for this build. In modeling, you make a choice. You follow the facts, the photo, the faintest hint of a story. The screens weren't a guess. They were a statement. A detail to tie the Tiger back to its history. By mid-morning, I moved to the cutting board. Sanding discs and razor blades became my tools of choice. I worked the edges, cleaning burrs and trimming flash. Every cut was deliberate. Every adjustment had a purpose. The left fender gave me trouble, a slight recess I hadn't spotted. I adjusted, improvised, and moved forward. Photo-etch isn't forgiving. Some anneal it, softening the metal for curves. I don't. Heat weakens it, and these flat pieces don't need it. Modeling teaches you when to bend and when to stand firm. The turret was next. Something was off. A tilt, a slant. I disassembled it, checked the fit, and reassembled. Perfection isn't the goal. Accuracy is. Smoke grenade launchers. Tiny parts, vague instructions, and no margin for error. I drilled the holes, stretched sprue for alignment, and glued everything in place. Each launcher was a battle of precision and patience. Afternoon brought a rookie mistake. I'd forgotten to drill up some holes before gluing. Dummy move. I fixed it, but it cost me time and pride. Some parts defied explanation. Mystery pieces, unlabeled and unclear. References suggested their place, but not their purpose. I glued them anyway. Modeling's like detective work. Sometimes you follow the evidence, sometimes you take a leap. The smoke grenade launchers returned, demanding more patience. Alignment was critical. One slip, and it was all over. Stretch sprue and steady hands saved the day. By evening, the grenade launchers looked good, but something was missing. A photo-etch piece I'd overlooked. I found it, fitted it, and pressed on. The rain hasn't stopped. The coffee's cold, and the tiger's still on my bench. Modeling isn't about finishing. It's about the story you leave behind. This is jet scale model. The tools are mine. The mistakes are mine. The story belongs to the tiger.
Okay, I forgot one thing to put on here.
How do you like how this Tiger stacks up against the Stewart M3? I know which one I'd want to be in.
I think I'm just going to take the easy way out on this build and use the photo etch that comes with it for the fenders. I'm just going to glue these on like they say we should. Those go on there like that. The reason I'm doing that is because it's so hard to get these perfect. So you know what? I'm just going to take the easy way this time. And what I'm going to do is probably use the ones that are in the Aber set for the other tiger I'm working on. So I want to redo those ones. But these don't even really properly fit, it seems. I think we'll have to split the difference there. So anyway, let's see where that would line up. Something like that. All right.
check it.
All right, guys, just before I go ahead with this, I wanted to show you a couple of unique pieces of reference that I have. These are, I guess, in Russian, and they actually have really good coverage that I don't see in any other references about these Tiger tanks. Particularly this one is really good for this build that I'm working on right now. This is the one with the two side. What I'm building is I'm building one with the two side storage lockers. It was number 100 and it ended up being on display. The Russians captured it and they put it on display. So in here there is quite a few really good pictures of that one particular item. Right there is one. But yeah, there's some more here. Now the thing is, there's some controversy. Were there screens, like hand grenade screens, on the early Tigers? And I think you could just barely make it out here that there is screens on here. Right here. It looks like there's lines going that way. So I'm going to put them on. So I wish all photo etch was this easy, but oh well. We'll just go ahead with this. Now I like using these plastic cutting boards to work on. They seem to work good for me to cut these pieces off. So this is the left side. Yeah, you can just use a sanding stick, get rid of the burrs. Okay, apparently these are for the left side. Gotta shake this black stuff up. All right, where's my glue looper? Oh yeah, these things are pretty accurate actually, because you're supposed to fold those down on the edges. I'll have to come back to that because I need to fold these down. I wasn't sure, and then I looked underneath here and there's a couple little lines where you were supposed to fold them because the real ones actually had that. I've seen in some reference material. So let's slap that in there. I'll fold that down a little bit. I need a different razor blade. This one's too thick to do it right. All right, right on the line. I can never find what I want when I want it. Ever. To do it right. All right, right on the line. I can never find what I want when I want it. Ever. All right, now I've got a better razor blade. This one's not so thick. Okay. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to have to clean that off. Not a big deal. There's a bit of a ugliness to this back join. Now, I think these hatches need to open up that way. So I don't know if I want to fill it completely, but I think I want to make it less noticeable. So using this stuff here, which is good for some applications, but not for others. All right, so now I'm just going to wipe back the excess. It's water soluble, so that's good. Yeah, let's run a little bead along here too. Just to make it tidy. There. Okay, so now that we've got that cleaned up, I'm going to put the glue on the screen rather than put the glue here, because I noticed it was dripping down in there and we don't want that. All right, success. Little debonder on the Q-tip does the trick. Sweet. So yeah, this one has those lines as well. You can see. All right, I guess I gotta use this one. Can't get down in there. Oh, fuck. Way too much. is that good enough? No. All right, that looks good enough. This one here, it actually only goes about 7/8 of the way up, that line. That's why I'm switching this out, because I only need to fold that much. One thing is that I see people annealing their photo etch. You don't need to anneal it. Not every time. It's just in certain situations. Only when you're, like, say, rolling something, then you anneal it. But when you're working with flat pieces like this, or clasps, or anything else, you don't anneal it, because if you anneal it, it weakens it, and it becomes way too bendable. So yeah, I would suggest you don't anneal unless you need to. All right, how did that work? Yeah, it looks good. That worked out. But you can see how it's not all bent, because it's actually got to fit over some hatches in a certain way. And if it's all folded, it doesn't fit over the hatches properly. All right. Yeah, that's perfect. Awesome. So that one goes over there. Yeah, you can see here how there's a little bit of a divot. So yeah, this only needs to be bent to fit down in that recess. I didn't notice it until I put the first one on. But there you go. Again, with the living and learning. Yeah, I gotta flip it back around. Gotta make sure it's right on that line. Boy, it's tight. Ow. Yeah, that's perfect. You get better at it after you do it a few times, just like everything. All right. All right. Yep, good enough. I swear to God, things just disappear. Oh, that's great. It's another reason I don't like these gluable tracks, is because they never stay together. You think you got enough glue on everything, but it always comes apart. Oh well. I'll deal with that later. Okay, where the hell did that go now? Okay, let's just clean off this glue. Whoa.
There, that one makes me feel better. I guess that'll do. I'm not sure if I should trim this part off because it's not the same length. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll have to take the tracks off, so we'll do it later if I do it. I'm still not sure if I'll even keep these. I might do the other ones. Okay, you can see this one here. It's like one that doesn't have the headlight plugged in. It's got some kind of like a socket. This one here is where this part, this is like the headlamp, it would go in there. And looking at my references, this Tiger doesn't happen to have it, so I'm going to use these ones here. I'm going to use these ones. So those go on top of there. So you can either use J6 or J9. I'm going to use the one that doesn't plug in the light. Oh. I'm just going to tack this in. Because I want to do the periscope, but I got to get these painted. So I don't want to put the periscopes in before I get the paint on these hatches. So trying to fit these hooks in, there's these little tabs that won't allow me to do it. So they got to come off. It's weird. Damn. Should have drilled those out before I put them on. Dummy. Okay, we just got a few little things left to do here. I don't know how many of these on-vehicle tools we're going to add. They give you some with the clamp and some without, but looking at references, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of these that actually ended up on this one, or they went missing, I guess. I'm not sure. So there are these toe shackles, and they go in here. I like using sanding sponges for curved surfaces. So this is the spare antenna tube, I guess. Okay, I put the horseshoe on that you can see in this picture. So these are for the cables, and they go, one goes there and one goes there. I have no idea what this part is, but the instructions say it was on number 100, which is the tank I'm portraying. So we'll put that there. I have no idea what that is. I'm not even sure what these are. I guess they're obviously for tow cables, I imagine.
Taking the turret apart because this looked crooked. It was like slanted slightly. So I've taken it out and I'm going to try and put it in where it looks straight.
So these ones, I am just going to use CA glue. I think I could probably solder it, but I think it's might be better just to glue it. So first off, I want to give it a bit of a tooth. Yeah, I don't know if that's right. Jeez. I don't know. Try again. So I just cannot line these things up properly. So what I want to try and do is drill out this hole . I guess that's how that goes.
I've drilled these out. This is one of the most difficult things for tiger tanks for me, is figuring out how these smoke grenades go together. Anyways, I've drilled those out so that I can insert stretch sprue into the holes, and that way ensure lining everything up the way it was supposed to be. So now what I want to do is trim this back. I'm going to light this incense. And then what's going to happen okay.
The Tiger One initial isn't just a kit. It's a puzzle, a story, and sometimes a test of patience. Every piece has a place, and every choice leaves its mark. In modeling, there are no shortcuts, just paths you haven't taken yet. My job isn't to make it perfect. It's to make it right. In the meantime, and in between time, that's another edition of Jet Scale Models. Y'all come back now, you hear?
All right. So what we got going on here is these smoke grenade launchers. Okay, so these are looking really good, but I'm gonna have to put there's a thing here that goes in here. I have to figure out a piece of photo etch